Idle Hands came out in 1999. It was directed by Rod McFlender, and honestly, this is probably one of my favorite films of all time. Maybe I have rose-tinted glasses for it or something, but I think this film is absolutely top-notch. I've loved it since the first time I've seen it, and I still love it to this day. So, is this going to be a bit biased? Most likely. So the basic plot of Idle Hands is this stoner dude, his hand becomes possessed by the devil, and he goes on a bit of a killing spree. He also ends up killing his two best friends, who in turn come back to life. Not as zombies so much, but they're just back from the dead. One's got a glass bottle stuck on his head, the other one has his head decapitated, and he's going out with Jessica Alba. And this movie sparked my massive crush I had on Jessica Alba back when I was a kid. And if you've seen the film, you can't blame me, because not long after that we go on to have Sin City as well. But the cast as well in this film, like, you've seen them in loads of stuff, especially the late 90s, early 2000s stuff. You've got Devon Sawa, I think his name is. I could be completely wrong. He's the dude that was in the first Final Destination movie, and he was also in that terrible film SWAT. But he's the main actor, or he's the main character, Anton, in this, and he just does the job brilliantly. Seth Green is his best friend who gets a glass bottle on the head. The dude who was in The Mighty Ducks and then went on to be Daredevil's mate in the Daredevil show is in it. Can't remember his name right now, though. Should maybe do a little bit more research before I do these videos. He's in it. He's the guy who gets his head decapitated. Jessica Alba plays his girlfriend. And Vivia A. Fox is the girl who's a part of this coven of witches or something, or sisters, I don't know, a bunch of nuns or some shit, who are out to find and kill the person whose hand is possessed by the devil. So he gets his hand possessed by the devil, and fun antics ensue. I'll not get too much into the movie, because if you haven't seen it, I want you to watch it. And if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I think my experience with this film started back whenever we used to go to VHS stores and rent them out for a couple of days at a time. And this one always piqued my interest. So one Saturday, I was like, oh, Mom, Dad, can I rent this one and watch it? And for those who don't know, VHS was what was before DVDs. And yes, you used to go to rental stores and rent videos out to watch for a couple of days and then bring them back. We also used to secretly tape them, but didn't tell them that. So they were just like, yeah, sure, whatever. My parents didn't really take that much notice of what I was watching, as long as it wasn't too risque, I guess. And by P4, whenever it was the first time I watched this, I'd already seen most things, so nothing was going to shock me. So that went on for weeks. I was getting this movie and renting it out because I enjoyed it so much. I was showing it to absolutely everybody, all my cousins, all my friends. I was like, watch this movie, it's so funny. And at the time, we thought it was really scary. You used to say, oh, the hand's going to come get you and all this here sort of stuff. But then, because I participated in P4 Sports Day, and DVDs had just came out at this point, my parents got me Idle Hands on DVD to own myself for participating. I don't think I got a single ribbon or trophy that day, because I'm not an athletic person by any means, but, you put some effort in, you get rewarded, I guess. So this movie was on in my house constantly. I couldn't get enough of it. Even to this day, if I stick it on, I could recite every single line of that movie, and not 1 minute of it bores me. That's how much I love this film. Everything from the directing to the writing to the acting is just top notch. There might be a few wee blips here and there where, it starts to get a wee bit stale, but quickly it jumps back in and it's exciting again. The humor is just constant. I don't even know if there's any serious moments, because even whenever it's trying to be serious with the murders and stuff, it's still hilarious. This movie knows exactly what it's doing, and it does a great job of it. The gore is really good, especially for 99. Even some of the CGI moments, there's the bit where a guy gets his head decapitated. You see his head come off, roll down the stairs, and his body fall down after him. Yes, you can tell it's CGI, but is it done well? Yes, and it's funny as well. So even if it didn't look good, you wouldn't really care that much. And it keeps up the pace. It's an an idiot minute long movie, and it just flies in because it's so much fun, but so much happens as well. The soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. It has great music in it, not only just from licensed songs, but also like the score. Like the opening title sequence is like the opening title sequence would make you think this movie is a full-on horror film because of the way it looks. And the music is so good. Like it's up there on my top 5 probably scores of all time, or opening credit scenes. I don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, it's up there. It's so good. Check it out if you haven't. If I remember, I'll even try and link it in the description down below just so you can check it out because it's that good. And then the acting is so natural, like throughout the film from all the characters. Maybe it's not so, like there's some really cringy moments between Anton and Jessica Alba's character, whose name has completely left my mind because whenever I do these videos, my mind turns into mush for some reason. But they like have a bit of a sexy time, and they're calling each other like baby snakes and stuff. That always made me cringe. But it's still funny. The end of this movie is also a purposely an anticlimax in a really good way. Like they had this whole deleted scene, which if you have the DVD, you can actually watch it without all the special effects, and is way over the top. There's like a gateway to hell and all these hands coming out of the walls and stuff. Like it's a bit mental. Whereas the ending they ended up going with, because of budget reasons, I think, fits the film so well and fits the tone of the humor so well. So I'm not going to tell you what it is because, like I said before, you haven't seen it, I want you to see it. I actually think this film is like out of print now on DVD in the UK. I know Scream Factory did a Blu-ray version of it in America, I think, but not over here. I don't have a Region 1 Blu-ray player, and I'm not spending stupid money on a DVD or a Blu-ray. So they need to release it over here and do it quick, because I would love to see this film get some more attention, because I think it is such an underrated classic. And I know now, like, I've shown it the most of friggin' Newton Ards. A lot of people have seen it, but there's still so many people out there. You say Idle Hands are like, what's that? I'm like, oh, you're in for a treat. I'm sorry, I'm just gushing over this movie the whole time. Like, I can't say anything bad about it. I just think it's brilliant. You also have a cameo from The Offspring, who are wearing like an AFI t-shirt. Like this movie in general sort of like boosted my the type of music I was in at the time as well, because whenever you're in primary schools, whenever you start to develop your own style of music and what you're into, this film definitely helped me in that sense, because you had the likes of The Offspring, Zebrahead, Rob Zombie, Rancid. Like that's all stuff I still listen to these days. Sublime and all's in there, different parts. Oh, an itchy eye. I think I even went to a primary school Halloween dance with a plastic bottle stuck in my head just so I could pretend to be Seth Green's character in this film. That's how much this movie had an impact on me back in the day. There's a funny story, I'll tell you. It was years later, I was in high school, but I was sorting out my DVDs at the time because I started to build up a bit of a collection. And I was like, alright, I want to get all the kids sort of films, like Disney movies and all together, and put them in one section. And Ma came upstairs and I was telling her what I was doing. She was like, oh, what about Idle Hands? And I was like, that's not a kids movie. That's far from a kids movie. That is an 18, and there's blood, tits, and stoners in it. And she was like, oh my god, I got you that movie when you were in P4. And I was like, yeah, I know. She was like, oh my god, I'm a terrible mother. And I was like, to be honest, I think you're far from it. It's quite the opposite. The fact that I was able to watch that sort of stuff, and it didn't have a bad impact on me. Like, I knew it was all movies. My parents were always good at explaining to me what was real and what isn't, and what's fiction and what's reality. So, you know, whenever people say about all these films that corrupt children when they watch them at a young age, it's not the film, it's the lack of knowledge about film, I think, is the case, and that's where the parents come into fault. So, yeah, there's my philosophy for a video. I don't know. I thought I'd try and change up a bit from just gushing over Idle Hands, but you know what? I'm just going to end it there. I don't know if I've said everything I want to say. I don't know if I've even made anybody even want to watch this movie, because I've just talked crap for the last 5-10 minutes. I don't know, but you know what? I love this film, and I highly encourage you, if you haven't seen this film, to go watch it. If you have seen it, let me know what you think about it. And yeah, like I said before, if there's any other things you would like me to review or talk about in general, leave a comment, post me, whatever, and I'll try and get around to it. On Facebook, on Instagram, all that sort of stuff. You know how to use YouTube, so you don't need me to tell you to hit that subscribe button and the little bell and all that crap, but I'll say it anyway. Thanks for watching. Bye. Whew.